it comes to basic marketing and basic outrage marketing and stuff. We're in the Stone Age, like, really are. Like, we're back in 1920s America, like, you know. Wow. So it's sad to see, but that's why I'm going to start getting into my own stuff and selling my own products and doing my own clothes and doing my own stuff. So if the advertisers aren't coming to me to do it, why the hell should I be after them or trying to market their products? I will market my own, and then I make double. Yeah. You know what I mean? So the entrepreneur comes out in you and you just go, well, fuck them. Let's do my own thing. I've always done it. Everyone said, like, in the beginning, Farm Michael won't be understood. The voice is too thick. Then they said it won't travel outside Galway. Then it said it won't reach Dublin. Then it said it never go out. It's a distinctly Irish thing. Won't work, you know, blah, blah, blah. So it was always never going to work. But it did, and it did, and it did, and it does, and it did. And, you know, so you have to keep proving the critics wrong and just have a big middle finger up all the time and sell a lot of money to that middle finger. Yeah,
moral of the story, don't listen to anyone. Just do your own thing. Tell us a little bit, since last time we spoke, I know a lot has changed. Do you want to give us a little bit of sort of like what's been going on recently? Like the last time we spoke was about 9 months ago, perhaps. How have things changed for you?
I suppose no more live shows for the foreseeable future. Haven't done a gig since March, so last year, obviously. So so no live gigs. So just I suppose in the middle of all that, my Facebook page was taken down, and stuff wasn't looking too bright or positive. So I suppose we just kept fighting on. We eventually got it back, but it's restricted now, so views have drastically dropped. But you still have to put it out, even though you don't like to half the time, because you're like, why am I putting out something that I think might be funny if only 10,000 people are going to see it, whereas before it'd be 100,000 or whatever, you know what I mean? Your chances of going viral are just limited so much, like so restricted down. So but our YouTube now is kind of catching up with the Facebook, so hopefully that'll overtake Facebook. So then good luck to Facebook, you know what I mean? So,
you know, fuck Facebook. You know, I've stopped using Facebook. I'll use it for my own sort of little bit of eventing and promotion, but I've been streaming just on YouTube. And I think when we were chatting, we were on Facebook before at our stream. But
see, the only thing with Facebook is, like, you're so dependent. Like 90% of my ticket sales for gigs would be through Facebook, and boosting an event and putting up the event. That's the only good part about Facebook. But because that's limited now, you have to boost everything. You know what I mean? If you want to do that. It's a bollocks. But
it is, especially the fact you have to manage multiple channels. And I noticed that you have multiple channels as well. And of course, one of the reasons we're chatting today as well is to promote your recent single, No Chorus, which is awesome, by the way. And it's just great to hear it, like to see you and hear you, I suppose, branch out into other realms. And just on that, just touching on that, it's a question I wanted to ask you, because you being, you know, starting out with comedy and doing comedic skits, what do you get from recording something musically or writing stuff down like vocals or lyrics that you don't get from comedy? Do you get something else out of that? Because I don't delve into comedy. I'm not a funny person, but I do a little bit of music, you know. So did you find something in music that's different?
It's kind of therapeutic, and it's the real me. And you can get a message across through music more clearly than you would with satire that some might miss. So with the music, it's clear cut. It's clear cut, the message you're trying to get through, and it's clear cut. I suppose, like when you listen to No Chorus, you know immediately it's a sad song. You listen to All in His Head, you know it's a song about mental health straight away. There's no having to decipher it or anything. It's there in you. You know, it's there, or not in you, it's there thrown at you, you know what I mean? So, and because I suppose, like, you know, the music is me. The music is the real me. The comedy is just, you know, the surface me, and the character isn't me at all. So at least with the music, it's actually me.
There's that genuineness. And Roxie, how about yourself? So how did Stevo rope you into all of this? Did he literally rope you in, or tell us a little bit about how you got involved with some of this stuff?
Roped me in. He followed me with a rope, wrapped around me, threw me in his car, and was like, "You're doing this now."
Now, did he wrap it around your neck or around your leg? Because that makes a difference, I guess.
Around me.
dragged her up the
Dragged. Brilliant.
He had something up on his what was it? Your Facebook, your Instagram. I seen it up, saying that he wanted a new character or something. I says, sure, I'll give it a go. I'll do it. And he called up the Sunday.
Yeah.
I think it was. He called up on the Sunday anyway, and he says, right, we'll try one just for the crack and see what happens. And they had a brilliant response. So we were like,
let's do it.
Let's do it.
Brilliant. And were you interested in comedy before, Roxie? Give us a little bit of your own background, even the guys would like to know.
No, not interested in comedy whatsoever. Not that I wasn't interested in comedy. I just didn't think nothing about it, that I'd be doing it. Do you know, that sort of way. But I mean, for COVID, everything was shut down. Yeah. And we're like, I'll give it a go. Give me something to do during this COVID.
Yeah. Try something different. It definitely has been a time of sort of doing things a little bit differently, or
a time of reflection and introspection.
Absolutely, that's what they say. Yeah. I mean, I did.
So it's been interesting. It's been good.
Yeah. So, did you like have a preconceived notion or anything about what was going to happen, or like?
No, didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
Didn't have a clue. The first time it hit me that Stevo was like more than what I thought was when he picked me up the second day after work. We went for coffee and we're in the drive-through McDonald's, and as another car was coming out, we were kind of stuck beside each other. It was just a bunch of like girls, whatever, and they were like, "Oh my God, look," pointing at him and like just go. I was just like, "Oh my God, what am I even getting involved in?"
And I was like, "Kill me."
So Stevo's like sick of it, I guess, at this stage, and
sick of it, but it still makes me uncomfortable, because I suppose you have that imposter syndrome, don't you? You sometimes you feel like you don't deserve it. It's not merited, so you kind of just and at the end of the day as well, you just feel like, look, I'm just a fella from West Side in Galway. Stop, you know what I mean? I'm just me.
But the amount of people that think your name is actually Michael is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I'll never live this down. I'm typecast now for life. There's no getting out of it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in too deep now.
Yeah.
That's it. You're done with stuff for life.
And Roxie, you maintain your name in you don't create a character, do you? Or
I'm Mary Bridget.
Oh, you're Mary Bridget. Okay.
Mary Bridget. There's the name.
Yeah.
But,
brilliant.
I was given the name Mary Bridget.
So we kind of alternate. So when the camera's on front, she'll be Mary Bridget, Michael's daughter, and then when the camera's at the side, she's still meant to be Mary Bridget, but Michael just keeps calling her Kathleen because Michael doesn't care. Michael's like, "You're Kathleen Chop." Listen, you know what I mean? So, so that's the way it kind of comes about, and people would be going, "Why is he calling her Kathleen? Where's the real Kathleen?" And I'll be like, the real Kathleen left about 5 years ago. Before that, it was a different person. So
there's been many chapters.
So you don't
many Kathleen chapters.
Yeah, like not in a bad way, but Kathleen is the character I created. You know what I mean? So she'll always live. You know, she'll always be there in the sketches. She's always there in Michael's world, I suppose.
Yeah, of course. I mean, well, you have like, that's the thing. Like you'll have multiple actors playing Batman. Do you know what I mean? So I understand it's the same sort of idea, and I totally relate to that in that way and understand
no one
it.
could probably play me.
No, of course not. No.
But that's because the emphasis is on me. The camera's in my.
Maybe Brad Pitt could do it. Do you know? I mean, not
he wouldn't be
to.
Good enough looking,
No, you don't think so? Yeah, he's actually getting a bit old now. In fairness, maybe Brad Pitt 20 years ago in his peak.
Mixture of Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio and I don't know, a few kind of heartthrobs like that, and then maybe if they got a bit of surgery to look perfect, then they might be up to a 10th of my level.
I get you, and that's speaking modestly,
yeah, but you say that joking, because you know I don't.
Now don't be joking now, Roxie, come on.
and you don't have an ego when you suffer from panic disorder. You can't have an ego. Your mind doesn't let you create an ego.
That's fact. And tell us a little, because I know that there were a few occasions where you were trying to, and maybe I'm saying it wrong, so do correct me, that you were trying to end sort of Farmer Michael, and I remember some of your posts online. Why? Maybe this question isn't a good one, but why do you feel it difficult to let Farmer Michael go, and what's holding you back from letting you go? Is there doubts, or how are you feeling?
I suppose I enjoy doing them. You know what I mean? As long as you enjoy doing them, and people enjoy watching them, and people get a buzz out of them. But I did want to kind of end it at one stage, but that's because the page was gone and personal relationship issues, and so like I felt like I didn't want to do it anymore. I felt like, you know, one of the duos gone and my page has just been taken down. What the fuck is the point anymore? You know what I mean? I didn't see the point in continuing. But then, like, you know, as usual, fans message and you get all these well wishes, and you kind of go like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to keep doing it and come what may. And like for the last few months, I know I haven't been like as regularly posting videos as I should be, but I'm kind of, you know, waiting to get full control back over my page again, so it won't be restricted, so we can get the videos out to the bigger audience. So I kind of concentrating now at the moment just with my next song as well, so I'm kind of working on that at the moment and coming up with ideas for videos and stuff like that, because I like to come up with the ideas for the videos myself, because I'd never leave it in someone else's hands. I'm too much of a control freak, and I always envision what the video will be like and what it should be like. And if you can get a videographer that will match half of that, then you're doing well, you know. So
yeah, I get the whole controlling part. I do have those types of traits myself. What happens is,
they're your babies, like.
Yeah. You do end up being really busy, unfortunately, and sometimes it can be difficult to finish. But I find it sometimes difficult to finish some projects, or they take a little bit longer. I put them on the side for a little bit because there's just no time, and sometimes the focus isn't there too, right? You know you can do it, but for some reason in that time and moment, it's just the stuff's not aligned. What are you thinking? And we'll get to the music as well, because I really do want to talk a little bit about your music. I don't want to keep you guys too long on this Saturday evening, but I'm just curious about like your plans for. I know it's very difficult because we're not having events and things like that, and I'd love to hear Roxie say it a little bit about, because I'm just thinking, are you gonna, once things open up, are you gonna be performing? Because I know you've done some fantastic big tours in front of thousands of people. Roxie, are you ready to tackle on that once that happens? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I totally would be. Yeah, I've been on stage a good few times in my past year and doing different things with dances and stuff like that. So I would. Yeah,
you're well versed.
To it, to be honest.
Yeah, I said it's such a different buzz, obviously in front of a crowd that are laughing at what you're, like, not at, but laughing with you, right? Some energy.
A bit of both.
Yeah, because half of the Michael thing is to laugh at a man when, you know, that's the whole, I suppose, birth of the character, you know, to laugh at him, because he's such an Amadon, you know what I mean? He is, like, you know, he's an idiot, but he's a lovable idiot at the same time. Yeah, you can laugh at what he says because you're allowed, because he's so backward with his ideas.
Yeah.
No, I am. I'm looking forward to that way of it as well, to see what way that goes on stage as well. The whole laughing part.
I'd say it's you're gonna absolutely love it. And do you have like much? Do you give much input to Stevo's creativity with regard to skits and stuff like that? How much does Stevo let you get involved with that sort of process?
I'm not say one word. I'd sit in the corner and do I'm only joking, Jesus. No,
I'm always
he's always open to ideas, really. I throw the odd one out here and there.
Well,
see where it goes.
Yeah, the stereotypical farmer Michael ones with the camera on me, I kind of take over for them.
Oh, they're your babies all together.
And then with the other ones, we kind of have twos and fro's, and then we've done it. We've messed around with a lot of different stuff in the last few months. Yeah, and, like, some has hit, some has missed, but it's all about the, you know,
just keep going to see what works.
Yeah, and freshening stuff and trying different things, and that's, you know, that's the way it is.
Yes, everybody's just so used to just seeing you giving off about absolutely everything. They're not used to any other kind of content, so it's just literally testing the water.
Yeah, you're doing another character, and they go like, Michael is right, and you're like, no, you know, it's like, no, I'm playing another character. Like, my name is, you know, Mark in it, but they'll still say Michael's good at playing Mark. And you're like,
right, yeah. Well, I suppose like Hardy Books had that same issue, right? You know, you call your man's name is Eddie Durkin or whatever, and or the Viper. You know that I don't even. And Salmon, for example, you know, bless him, I ran into him and I just called him Salmon, and I was like, I'm sorry, man, I don't mean to call you by your character. I just don't have it in my head. Yeah, it's just the way it is, and I guess you do get sort of boxed in, isn't it? And there is that downfall.
There's the madness there, like some like friends, longtime friends of yours will come up and be like, "Well, Mike, what's the story?"
So that's
Wow.
even weirder. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, that is a bit strange.
People that I would
Yeah.
have went to school with and stuff and known from years around in Westside, like,
Yeah.
and I mightn't have seen them in a while, but they'll call me Michael, like, or Mike, or Mike the farmer, or Farmer Mike, Father Michael. You know, it's just like, and then I go like, they'll have to. I look at them and they go, Stevo, sorry, I did it again.
Well, I mean, like you have such an amazing like reach. You know, you have reached so many people with Farmer Michael, and it's so, I don't know what
Scary.
it is. Yeah, it's scary, and for
like
some reason, yeah.
Someone mightn't even know my name, or someone mightn't know the character name, but you show them a screenshot of the fella screaming in the car, and they go, "Yeah, I've seen. That's
yeah.
I've never watched it, but it's come up my timeline, or it's come up on my YouTube, or it's like, it's scary how many people have probably seen my face in some form of weird, like, you know, thumbnail screen mid pose. You know what I mean? So
Sure, yeah. What's
we were somewhere a couple of months ago, and we got out of the car, and someone was like, "Hi, Farmer Michael. Hi, Mary Bridget." And we're like, "Oh gosh."
Oh
yeah. That was my first kind of.
What were you like? Were you ever like on holidays somewhere, and someone abroad would have seen you? Like, did you ever get that? Have you gotten that yet?
The only place we really went on holiday was touring in the UK, which is like, in Liverpool, it's 20 times more. You're recognized 20 times more over there than you are ever here.
That's interesting. Why is that? Is that just people are more like, they just watch you more over there, or how does that?
Yeah, the biggest fan base would be from kind of the UK now, which is kind of extraordinary.
I think the British generally just love the Irish humour anyway.
Yeah, especially Liverpudlians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all the Irish shows and everything. Everybody goes cracked over in England for them. Like Father Tate. You know, they just love the Irish humour.
Yeah. And like, we were doing well with the tours as is, with like, say, Irish people living in the UK, but then I suppose when we started doing the Everton videos and the whole Willie Rooney thing and all that kind of that brought us into a new crowd altogether of like native, you know, English people. So that kind of, and that led to set out shows in Liverpool, Manchester, Birmingham, Nottingham, where else? Sheffield, Glasgow, London, multiple shows. You know, it was just scary. Like, we've done, like, we went to a place called I don't even know where it's called. We never heard of it in our lives. It was like 30 miles outside Liverpool or something, some village we never heard of, and it's a 420 seater stadium, and we filled it, like, and we were like, what the hell? You know, just the population as well. And you know, you go to little towns that would be little towns over there, but like, you know, the size of Galway, you know what I mean? So it's just, population wise, it's an immense kind of place to visit.
Would you ever try doing it, what you did for like in England, like hooking up with some sort of team or however, or you know, directing your skits almost towards like the States or something even bigger? Was it something ever in your mind?
Well, I was thinking, maybe like getting kind of behind an American football team, or you know, a baseball team or whatever like that, because that would kind of crack you over there. But a lot of people are doing that, and like, even when I go back to the dawn of the Everton videos, it was good that we kind of picked Everton as the one to do, because they're the kind of always nearly boys of English football. You know what I mean? So like, they kind of took us on board then, and we got like private tours and stuff, and met players and stuff, and it was kind of like, you might have got that chance with one of the bigger clubs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Roxie, what do you support a team, or do you have a preferred team?
I'm not a football supporter whatsoever.
Okay.
Rugby. I'm more a rugby person than I am a football.
But
well, that's good.
Team,
it'd be Everton.
It'd have to be Everton, right? So there's no conflict of interest there. That's why I asked that. So that's good to know. So you could indulge in some of those things that they're offering you. What's like, this is just a really random question. Like, what's the most random person that kind of reached out to you? Like, you know, obviously we speak about your face being recognized a lot. Like, did someone ever message you that's like very famous or something, and just like say, and you were just like, why is he messaging me, he or she?
Freddie Flintoff, Dawn French, Gary Lineker, Tyson Fury.
I remember that actually. I remember, yeah. I
Other
remember,
famous
yeah.
like Irish Olympians that would have won medals in the Sonia O'Sullivan and people like that you would have grew up like idolizing and always known about.
Yeah.
And then you're getting Paul McGrath. Paul McGrath was a big one. That like I got ones from like Tyson Fury and everything, and that was kind of cool. But when I got the Paul McGrath one, I went to show my dad.
That's brilliant.
Like, no, that's the big one for me. You know what I mean? Being a early '80s baby, you know what I mean? That was like, and growing up always watching football in the house. Paul McGrath, you know, Italian '90, you know, is just immense.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Yeah, I'm like it's. Like I don't know how you manage your inbox. Do you know what I mean? Like, and the fact that you write back to me, whatever, within a minute. I'm not giving any of you guys listening in ideas to be messaging them and bothering them now, but no, I really appreciate the fact that, you know, you're able to write back and you're able to reach out, and you always write back to people as well, and the comments. You do make the effort.
Sometimes, like some days, obviously, you might be in the mood or whatever. You know, you might get a nasty message and that puts you off writing back to other people then for a while, but. I generally try my best. If I don't, you know, I always say to someone like, yeah, I'd love to do it, but make sure you remind me, like the day before and maybe an hour before, just to keep pushing me, because like I do get a lot of messages and like I have a shit memory as it is. So, you know, sometimes like this even went out of my head before that it was today, until I seen the story that I reshared.
Yeah, I was thinking like, oh shit, I forgot I should share that story so Stevo remembers.
Yeah, and I was like, that's why I messaged you then. What time?
Brilliant.
Because I thought it was 6 and we wanted to get food because we were out all day, and you know.
I didn't know until around 6.
Yeah, until because I reminded myself in the morning about the story reshare, but I forgot to tell Roxie that it was on. So I was like, we have to do an interview on the show.
God, no, I really do appreciate you making the time. That it's really awesome. When's your late show interview? When is that happening?
It'll be either the 5th or the 12th. I'm not sure yet.
Brilliant. Are you doing a performance on it as well? Are you doing something or?
No, it'll be just in relation to, I suppose, my life. I suppose, and that kind of aspect of my crash and stuff like that, my disability and stuff. So it'll be more serious. You can't really throw in too many gags when it's such a serious topic, you know. So try and keep it nice and decent with a bit of a controversy, but obviously I'll talk about mental health in Ireland and do home truths and, you know, things like that. So
fair play to you. Is there any like upcoming events that you're sort of planning? Is there any anything in your head that you're ready to promote? Or
well, we've a gig going on in Liverpool, in the Liverpool Irish Centre, and one in Cleethorpes town. They're a football club that invited us over, but it's in May and we're still not sure if it's going to go ahead or not.
Yeah, it's really hard to plan, I guess. Yeah,
people are apprehensive and they're not. I've had loads of people message me like going, I'd love to get tickets, but I'm just not, you know. So people are worried, people are afraid, they're not kind of ready and willing to buy tickets yet. You know,
you can't really blame them either.
Oh no, of course.
Yeah.
And we don't know if it's even going to happen. So you know, hopefully, but you know, we'll go back to the drawing board again if we have to. You know.
Are you thinking about doing have you considered the live streaming? Have you done live streaming before? Have you done any like performance?
We do live streams, so you'd never do comedy on it. It just
really
doesn't work.
It doesn't work, doesn't it?
You can't get feedback from the people. You don't even like timing is off. Are they laughing now? Do I give this 3 seconds? When do I cut in? You know, it's a
good point. Yeah,
it's you know,
it's impossible. You can't do
just
comedy.
shooting into the air. You don't know what's going to happen. So
it's
better off not to do it.
I get you. Yeah. I guess a lot of comedy is the response, really, isn't it? Well, the delivery, of course, but then the response as well in turn, where you
building from
you
that.
take it.
You know, if that doesn't work and that bombs, then you go, well, you can tell you wrote that joke, blah blah blah. You know, so you have comebacks, but you don't know what the audience are doing, so you don't know when to use those comebacks or the little sleight of hand bits. You know, so.
What's the and I'll let you go really shortly, I promise. In 2 minutes, before I let you go, I wanted to know about like what is the level that you are at, whatever, you know, wherever it is or whatever you call it, in comedy and in the content that you're creating. Is there a sort of community in that realm where you speak to people on that sort of comedic level? Like, for example, with musicians, you would have that, you know, where you'd have, because you'd be supporting each other at different events and stuff like that. So there is that kind of natural community that builds within itself. Does that exist in sort of that comedy, in that world that you live in, Stevo? No, I didn't think so.
No.
Is it a really lonely sort of place with regard to relating to?
Yeah, you're
to
kind
other...
of on your own because everyone's trying to keep up with everyone else, and it's very competitive. Like in stand-up comedy circles, it's kind of the same, but you'd know each other a bit more, you know. But in what we do, it's kind of not, and people seem to, I suppose, give me a wide berth because they still see what I do as controversial, which I don't at all. But people seem to, you know, and like we have this thing in Ireland as well, still to this day, that like, you keep away from controversial things because we're like 100 years back in advertising terms. Like controversy says, if I want to sell an object, I'm getting Farmer Michael to pull the piss out of that product. Like I get people coming to me going, no, you can't do that now, you know, to do an ad or whatever, and they'll say, no, can you just say that it's really good? And you're like, well, it's like, who's gonna watch that? If Michael's going, this is the best product ever, like we're way behind. Like we're in the Stone Age when it comes to basic marketing and basic outrage marketing and stuff. We're in the Stone Age, like really are. Like we're back in 1920s America, like, you know. Wow. So it's sad to see, but that's why I'm going to start getting into my own stuff and selling my own products and doing my own clothes and doing my own stuff. So if the advertisers aren't coming to me to do it, why the hell should I be after them or trying to market their products? I will market my own and then I make double. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you just, the entrepreneur comes out in you and you just go, well, fuck them. Let's do my own thing. I've always done it. Everyone said, like, in the beginning, Farm Michael won't be understood. The voice is too thick. Then they said it won't travel outside Galway. Then they said it won't reach Dublin. Then they said it never go out. It's this distinctly Irish thing. Won't work, you know, blah, blah, blah. So it was always never going to work. But it did, and it did, and it did, and it does, and it did. And, you know, so you have to keep proving the critics wrong and just have a big middle finger up all the time and sell a load of money to that middle finger. Yeah,
moral of the story, don't listen to anyone. Just do your own thing. And you're doing it so well, man. I know you don't need to hear it from me, but I really do admire what you do and sort of the way you do it as well. And it's very honest. It is very honest and very true to yourself. Just the way you operate, you know, which I really admire. And I think a lot of people.
I just don't know. I don't know. My life is an open book, really. You know, you get more from the fans, and the fans, like, you want people coming to see your show because you're funny, but you also want people to come and see the show because they genuinely like you. And that's a big difference. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Is there anything you want to close off with? I won't ask any more questions after this, I promise. I suppose the only thing is I'll be coming out with a new song soon enough. It's a working title yet, so I won't give it, but it's about the abuses within the Catholic Church. So I'm keeping it nice and bright as always.
Fair play to you, absolutely. And of course, that's quite highlighted now recently, of course, with the mother and babies, and obviously a lot of that. I've been
writing it for about 8 months at this stage, but I just had a kind of an idea in my head before of a priest and a young boy in a confessional. Not in that way now, but the young lad rapping my lyrics angrily at the priest, and I just kind of built on that, and then I was like, I have to do something with that. And I got in contact. I don't know if you remember your man that was on Questions and Answers years ago, Michael O'Brien, and he was shouting.
I don't think so. From the audience. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I got in touch with him and tried to track him down, got his phone number, rang him, and he like, I know he didn't have to, like, I didn't need permission to use some of his speech in the song. It's more about, but I wanted.
I'm sure he'd appreciate that.
Would it be okay if I used part of that in the song? And he was like, absolutely. So the chorus of the song will be basically his speech, because I thought that was powerful enough.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to that. When are you thinking of a release date already, or is that something you're still to
April?
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Okay,
awesome. When we get the video shot, but obviously the song will be out before that.
Fantastic, great. Roxie, do you want to close off with anything there, or Are you happy out with everything that was said?
I'm happy out with everything that's said now.
Fantastic. Well, that's great. Roxie, pleasure to meet you for the first time, by the way. And Stevo, once again, thank you so much for joining me. And so nice to catch up with you. I'm going to play the music video to your most recent song, No Chorus. Guys, have a fantastic weekend. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you really soon, please God.
Thank you.
See you later. Bye-bye.